Okay, so we're going to look at these techniques of thick description and close analysis and themes in the Berkowitz and Padovic study, Getting a Man, Getting Ahead. All right, so let's break down the basics of this study. The literature review is pretty clear. It boils down to women are socialized to get married and have children. This is what the peer review literature says. So the inference of this that Berkowitz and Padovic are looking at is that all women are socialized to the same sexist norms of being subordinate to their man, dependent on him financially. Again, multiple layers of inequality. But the implication of that research is that everyone experiences sexism the same. So the gap is studies that describe if and how gender-based messages differ by race and class. It's a very simple study that they're going to set up to explore whether or not that's true. So their descriptive research question is pretty basic too. What gender-based messages about adulthood success do young women receive? And because there's the gap in the literature looking at whether or not this is true for all women, it makes sense to choose a group of women which there is some diversity in terms of racial, ethnic composition of the samples. So here I'm just bringing our descriptive research question, what gender-based messages about adulthood success do young women receive? And I'm just pulling some of the data that is the thick description you find in the article. And we're going to demonstrate how that thick description is explicitly linked to the themes. So again, the thick description is the data. I feel weird if no guys call me. We know also thick description in the article that that is a white sorority woman. Having a boyfriend is not really that important to me. Now, again, you've read this on your own, so taking you through the data this way should not be your first time through, but I'm pointing out again, thick description. I joined because I saw the women as strong Black women in the community. And then we have other data that says the social part is big, but as far as helping the children, we basically sent the money away. In terms of what these data suggest, what the expression of the theme is, the article shows us that there are three themes: finding men, engaging in community service, enhancing careers. And what I want you to acknowledge is that finding men was important or was discussed by all women, but white women discussed feeling weird if no guys called them, and Black women discussed having a boyfriend not being very important. Likewise, community service was important to Black women, but as far as helping the children, basically we sent the money away. White women were not engaged. The point is that the theme ran across all white and Black women, whether or not there was nuance in the way it ran across. That's what the data starts to suggest. So again, choose your theme wisely because it suggests that it was found across the data set. And then choose your thick description wisely so that your reader understands through the data what these realizations, these descriptive findings are going to be, not because you told them that white women and Black women experienced these messages differently, but that you showed them with data. So in now using that data, to come up with non-generalizable findings that are meaningful. We're going to go back to that research-based inference from the prior literature that seemed, at least the peer-reviewed literature, suggested that all women are socialized to the same sexist norm. So we asked if and how do gender-based messages differ by race and class in this non-generalizable data set, right? And what we found is that from the data, one can infer Black women were not socialized to the same sexist norms as the white women in this study. That's it, just these results, but they build on and imply that future research to theorize how gender, race, ethnicity, and class intersect. Again, this was a 1999 study, and intersectional research has become much more popular in the last 20 years. But at the time, there was a gap. There still is a gap, by the way. In terms of your paper, so in looking back at your assignment, you're going to do exactly what these published authors did, which is express the theme in a word or a phrase that becomes your header. Offer a thick description of the theme, that's the data itself, so that we see or hear or taste the data. Corroborate the theme. If you thickly describe the image, maybe you use interview data to corroborate or vice versa. Walk us through how that interpretation, how that thick description demonstrates the theme, and then what are the implications for future research? All right, good luck.